morning. My name is Tom van den Doren. I'm with Sentiance, the Chief Biz Dev Officer for the company based in Antwerp, Belgium. We actually don't like to talk about big data. We like to talk about small data. We're a data science company in the sense that we apply data science and machine learning to turn sensor data from smartphones and connected devices into rich behavioral insights. What we do is we're able to detect and predict how people, like everyone in the room, live their everyday life. And we do so by mining and analyzing smartphone data and data from connected devices. And then we turn those insights back to our clients, back to you, to leverage them to the full. It's our belief at Sentience that it's these type of insights with regards to how people live their everyday life that will enable you not only to manage your risks more effectively, but also to turn the premise of insurance upside down from protection to prevention, and ultimately also engage your customers in a much more personal, in a much more contextual way. And on the other side, we know that consumers are increasingly comfortable and willing to share behavioral data as long as they get something in return, as long as they get something tangible in return, which may be monetary benefits, discounts on premiums, benefits in kind, but also things like feeling better assisted, being coached to live a safer, a healthier life. We do so, in terms of generating the insights, we do so in a very non-intrusive way. We use basic smartphones that are used by the majority of your customers today, and effectively we access three basic sensors in the smartphone. We use location data, and then we use gyroscope and accelerometer to get a sense of position and movement of the people. And we do so by plugging in a software development kit, an SDK, within your application. So we don't own the data, we enrich your data by plugging in a software development kit, lines of code within your application. And so as I move through the demo, I want all of you to think about the applications and the use cases that you could imagine, the type of customer engagement that you could enable if you would have these insights at your fingertips. So moving to the demo, it is actually not a video, it's not a simulation, it's actually real life, real-time data. What you see is what we call our dashboard. It reflects the kind of insights that we generate by plugging an SDK into your application. This one is connected within our own application called Journeys. And what it does is deliver insights at two dimensions. The first level of insights is what we call real-time context, and it's actually the insights that you see on the left-hand side of the pane. It's understanding beyond location the truly personal nature of the context in real time and both predicted of people. So I've modeled the pane below in reflecting somehow the morning scenario, and you can see that we were able to detect like basic motion events, understand transport modes, whether people are biking or in a car, but also things that are way more personal and actually interpret the personal nature of what people are doing, where they are, and their morning activities. So we have people that are currently in their commute to work, people still at home, people at work, some people are having a breakfast out, there's people on their bike, there's people in a car, there's actually people already doing their grocery shopping. And then there's this notion of morning. Now morning to us is a reflection of what we call semantic time. It's a very individualized notion of time whereby we look at every individual way of spending his day and how that day starts either early or late. A night worker effectively may start his morning in the afternoon because it's the start of his active day. So we look at all of these contexts in a highly personalized way. And so if you look at the one person that I've selected, this person is now currently in his commute to work, is coming from home, it's sort of like hidden below, and the morning commute of this person is almost finished. So you see that we actually are able to detect context at three levels. We detect context in the now, we know what people have done before, but we're also able to predict what people will likely do next. And the predictive layer is connected to the fact that we can understand patterns, routines, and if we see a sequence of activities returning, it allows us to predict what people will likely do next. And so the upper layer that you see in the table below is effectively representing our predictive layer in terms of personal context. So this is the first dimension, understanding in real time, understanding and predicting in real time what people are doing in terms of personal behavioral context. At the same time, this person that I've selected, so the red dots, by aggregating all of this person's activities over time, we've built a behavioral profile of this person. We looked at aggregating his activities across mobility, across his work style, his lifestyle, his affinities, his leisure activities, to build a picture that relates horizontally to how he lives his life. He or she lives his life. So things that relate to work, things that relate to living at home, where the person works, shopping, brand loyalty to specific supermarket brands, work style, this person apparently is a workaholic, full-time worker, likes working late. Person is also recognized as being an Uber parent. An Uber parent means it's a person that keeps on driving kids to kids' activities, whether it's to school, to leisure activities, etc. We also have some health-related aspects, like physical activity being limited. We don't see this person doing a lot of physical activity. And then we have things that relate to driving behavior. This person doing most of his trips on the motorway, but when he does, he's seen as being an illegal driver, meaning he likes to speed beyond the local speed limits. And we can actually dive into each of these perspectives. So for example, I can click in and zoom in on the health profile, which is a different lens to the same data of this one person, which shows things like physical activity, mobility, social activity, which reflects not vital signs as such, but it reflects health-relevant behavior. Similarly, I could double-click on the fleet dashboard, which shows the detail of the driving behavior that we use to provide people a driving profile. And as you can see, the underlying technology that we use is still the same. It's sensor data that allows us to recognize specific driving events like acceleration and brakes, but also things like phone handling. So all of the purple bars is when we see the person actually handling his phone while driving, which you know is a very unsafe behavior from a driving perspective. And we can actually extend behavior into smart homes, knowing how a person not only lives his work style, leisure style, but also following the person's activities in the home, and the ability to zoom in on specific activities, zoom in and predict specific activities happening in the home. There's a lot more that I could show you, but I would like to leave you with a couple of key takeaways. First of all, with the dashboard, we wanted to give you a very sneak preview as to our ability to use basic sensor data in smartphones to predict and analyze human behavior in real time. And that allows you to build a holistic picture, a behavioral picture of the way your customers live their life. And that should allow you to ultimately get to know them better, engage them better, manage the risk more effectively. At Sentiance, we refer to this as the notion of lifestyle-based insurance. Lifestyle-based insurance is the ability to adapt your core proposition and the way you engage with people to the way they live their life. And we think this is going to enable you to turn indeed the premise of insurance upside down from protection to prevention and to being more active with regards to life assistance. Later on today, you will hear from one of our partners, Insure app, on how they've built our engine, our technology within their app and how they are innovating around the concept of lifestyle-based insurance. For now, I'd like to continue the conversation on our booth and be happy to address any questions that you may have. Thank you.